What is an NFT?
Dude, NFTs are a scam.
Okay, we are here with my friend Willie Morris, entrepreneur,
Yo.
farmer. You introduced me to Gary Vee.
No, NFTs are non-fungible tokens. So that's like a weird, that's like what the actual NFT stands for, right? But if you want to think of what NFTs are, right, NFTs, it's a way to like kind of validate and have proven ownership using technology.
Is it kind of like that, like iridescent sticker, but like a more advanced version?
Yeah. It's a technological version of the iridescent sticker, right? But like with the ability to like create like smart data within that, right? So it's really cool. It's like the next evolution of that.
When you say the NFT, I think a lot of people,
Yeah.
they're immediately thinking like a JPEG that costs like
Yeah.
$50,000. That's just one application of an NFT.
One
That's
application.
not a NFT.
Yeah, so the thing is, right, like NFT, like non-fungible tokens, it's more of like blockchain. That's a technology, right? So a piece of art that has been made in NFT is like a single like piece, but like as a whole, like it's a technology, right? So it's like, you know, if you're talking about like streetwear, right? It's like if you're talking about like the hundreds, right? What I'm wearing, or you're talking about like
Supreme.
Kith or Supreme, right? But you're not talking about like the cotton or like the actual T-shirt, right? That would be more of
Even though
comparable
technically
to
that's
NFT.
right to say like, oh, what are you wearing? And then you just said, I'm wearing cotton.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's
Bleached cotton.
bleached cotton. Yeah.
So bleached cotton is the NFT.
Yeah.
That is the direct
the
comparison.
technology that goes into making the actual piece that you're collecting.
All right, so explain to me. I'm 15 years old.
Yeah.
Why is a pixelated NES graphic of a punk worth 10 Ethereum, which would be like, I guess, like 50,000?
You know, a lot of it has to do with, well, in general, like with the punks, right? They were one of the first big projects that came off on the NFT space. Yeah, and so there's like a historical significance to them. And it was like, with those, it's like a little bit of a flex, right? You're like, oh, I was in that early. I was in super early. I have a punk. With the NFTs, a lot of times you actually own the copyright for whatever you have. So if you were like, yo, I want to, like this week, it's NFT week. If you wanted to put that image on a billboard in Times Square, you could. If you own a Supreme tee, you can't take that Supreme logo and put it up there. But if you own like a punk, you can throw that punk on a t-shirt. You can throw it on a billboard. You can do whatever you want with it pretty much.
Why is NFT art, at least in its current format, not stupid? Because I think a lot of people
don't even think about it like as NFT art. It's just art. It's just a different medium of art. So it's like, why would, like if you had a chance to own the Mona Lisa, would you own the Mona Lisa and then make prints of it and sell it to everyone? Like you get a chance to like own a piece of art. So the value, what's the value of art, right? That's the question that's been asked for decades, right?
Right.
But with NFTs, the NFT is actually like there's technology behind it. So it might not be owning the art. That piece of art might also grant you access to like an amazing community. It may grant you access to like parties or merch or serve as a ticket to do something.
Is there some comparison there? Like, you know what I mean? Like they had to wear the Air Jordan 1s to get the ticket to get the Jordans because they wanted to keep it within the community.
In a little bit of ways, right? Like I think that the difference is like the NFT community, right? It's very early on right now. Like so everyone who's in it now is still super early, and there's a collective mindset. It's a positive sum game that like everyone can kind of win together, versus like, you know, the one person in line with the Air Jordan 1s like that. It's like almost cutthroat getting a sneaker drop, right? In the NFT community, it's like everyone's kind of helping each other out, and you might be in a project early where like for instance, a great example. Like I didn't get into like the Bored Ape NFT project, right? The Yacht Club. So to get into a lot of the parties, right, you need to show your Bored Ape.
You need to own one piece of Bored Ape NFT art, right?
But you know, I'm at my hotel. I see a guy. He's got like an NFT shirt on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna chat with him. Turns out, super nice guy. He sits down, we talk. He literally invites me to a party that night, and the next day he's like, oh, dude, I'm leaving. Take my Bored Ape wristband. You want me to like lend you a Bored Ape so you can go to the parties? Like that's the mindset right now with the NFT community versus like, you know, I think with sneaker drops and stuff, it's like so cutthroat. There's a huge difference in like just the collective mindset of like like we're all gonna make it. Like everyone's gonna win.
I want to say that sneakers maybe in the 90s had more of that community vibe
Yeah,
to it.
it's
It
the early
did,
vibes,
but
yeah,
ever
yeah.
since it was like version 3.0,
Yeah,
it's super ruthless. Like
Ruthless.
people like shooting each other.
Yeah, dude, stomping kids.
Should people feel left out right now? Because when I look in line,
Yeah.
I see a lot of people who are early adopters. I see a lot of people that I would imagine were on Magic the Gathering,
Yeah,
League
yeah.
of Legends, collecting shields and selling
Yeah,
them on the
yeah,
marketplace. Probably sneakers and streetwear, reselling Supreme. I see people who were probably reselling things on Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should people feel left out, or what is it?
I don't think someone should feel left out. I think it's one of those things you really want to do your own research on this, because it is like you're gonna put money into a project, right? Because like you have to buy ETH and buy cryptocurrency and then buy an NFT. But I think it's definitely worthwhile for everyone to do their research on this. Like if you find projects that you like and you think the artwork is dope and you want to support it, whether it's like a collection or it's a single artist and you want to buy like a piece of art, like it's dope. Like you can support a living artist, and as an artist, you don't have to like wait till you're dead for your value to go up. You can literally support yourself now using technology, which is like a complete paradigm shift, right? It's wild.
But is the value in like a Bored Ape piece of art NFT like 1 of 10, right? Isn't the value only in that more people enter the Bored Ape community to boost the price and want to purchase it for higher and higher amounts?
If your mindset is you're in this to make money, right? So I think obviously it's a great perk, right? If you buy something at like $100 and then in 30, 60 days it's worth thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, that's great. But I think a lot of the people got in early on Bored Ape for community, to support the project, and for other reasons. Yeah, to build a tribe, and like to be able to go to events last night, and like I joke, it's like the nicest concert I've ever been to. Like it was normally you're in a concert and you're trying to like push your way to the front. Dude, everyone's just like there's like this collective mindset and community around it where you're like the thing that takes longest to move up and get to towards the front is like just having conversation with people, because everyone's like, yo, like so stoked you're here, like how awesome is this? So there's the value for a lot of people in the NFT community really is the community. Now there's art, there's everything from like traditional like fine art photography, anything almost you want to find as a collectible or a piece of art like in the NFT world, it exists. Like it's wild.
But would you say it's true that some of the top stuff, it does seem like it has that cyberpunk vibe?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think within, right, we talk about NFTs, it's like Web3, right? There's Web2, this is Web3. There's this very almost tangible feeling, like when you're talking to people in this space and when you're getting into the NFT space, that this is a democratizing technology, right? Like this is a technology that brings the power back to the people and the individuals, and it allows us to really like fight some of these kind of oppressive systemic systems that are like steeped in racism or misogyny or bias, right? And so like that's like almost like a revolutionary technology in that way. And so I think the early art especially reflects that. And you have people who like, a year ago were like broke artists or musicians or whatever. Now they're making a living. They can like come to New York and stay for the week and hang. Like it's wild. The tipping point, or like the two possibilities, right? Like there's a big thing with the community, like as a whole, the NFT community, and really needs to onboard more people and like make it more accessible to get non-NFT people and more mainstream people into it, but into it in an organic way, so they can see the like all the positive vibes and stuff that are in the world.
Not just for the price speculation.
Before big companies like Facebook and Meta now, like before they make it incredibly easy and get people into like a world that, while it might be Web3, it doesn't have the Web3 like ethos that exists right now.
Right, it'll just be Web3 from a technology perspective.
Yeah, 100%, and it'll be centralized between corporations. Like I don't know if you guys ever read or saw the movie like Ready Player One, but I always joke it's like, they have.
That's what Facebook's building.
Yeah, IOI, right? Like they're like the corporate centralization thing, and you have all these people who are like trying to push this technology for like to push like culture forward and to push like society forward. And then you have like, I'm not gonna like take a shit on like all corporations, but like you have like a very different incentive than what the vibe is.
You're saying that they could be like Agent Smith to the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what if they want to get in? Like, what do you recommend buying? Because I guess for me, having a streetwear background, maybe Bored Apes kind of appeals to me because I'm like,
Bored Apes is dope.
It's New York based, right? It's very like.
But Bored Apes is super expensive, right? So one, it depends on what your budget is. Like, if you're like, I have a bunch of cash to like convert to like ETH, and like I just want to like get into like really big projects that I think are gonna like. That are like more historical blue chip things that are going to be, you know,
the Teslas and the Supremes.
You want to flex. You want to flex right now and like have that. And
the Rolexes of that world.
Yeah, great. Like Bored Apes, amazing, but you're going to pay a huge premium to get in right now. There's also like, you know.
But I want the wristband.
You want the wristband. But see, this is the great thing. Like you could probably find someone if you want to. Like if you're going to the parties, like someone would be like, "Yo, I'm leaving. Here's my wristband." Like there's that vibe, but. I don't want to like shill any projects or like sell any projects specifically, but because I think it really comes down to your own personal taste and preference, and you should support art and projects that you believe in and do your own research before you buy into anything. And there's so much out there. The one thing I would say is like you have to be careful of scams because it's a new technology. There's people who are out there, like some of the smartest scams I've seen, and I've been on the internet for a long ass time. Some of the scams in the NFT world, you're like, yo, you put this much effort into like scamming people?
It's not just a Nigerian laptop scam.
No, dude.
It's a little bit more complicated.
You're like, you put all this effort into like scamming people.
Real quick, I got a technical question. Can I ask you about the inverse relationship between the price of ETH and I guess the popularity of NFTs, right? Because you have to convert ETH or buy NFTs with ETH, and then as ETH pumps up in the price, sometimes that means everything gets so expensive, what creates a barrier?
Yeah, it does create a barrier. But there's I think it's a cool thing. There's some gateways and exchanges and stuff opening up where you can actually use US dollars. Like Nifty Gateway is a great example. You can buy certain things with US dollar now.
I could just buy an NFT worth 5 ETH
on your credit card, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, which is cool. So, you know, it's a good way to get people in. I think using ETH natively is way better, right? Or cryptocurrencies is way better than using US dollars for this stuff. But it's a good way to get people in and get them excited about projects without having this barrier of like, oh, now I have to like learn crypto and all this stuff.
Get a MetaMask.
Yeah.
What is the metaverse and how is it different than living in The Sims? or even any of the games like NBA 2K, you could buy like in your locker room, you want like a picture of Jordan hanging up, you have to spend VC points. You know what I mean? That was like a metaverse in itself.
So similar, It's like it's a really similar concept, right? But like think about now if instead of locker room, instead of that living just in the game, if it was like decentralized, like across, so you could like be on your phone, jump in it, and you could like literally like view, like switch out what art you had up from different NFTs you bought. Maybe you had like. You bought like some shoes that gave you like special powers in the game, like that you could like, bring in but use them like cross different.
I guess how is it different than like League? Remember, like people used to sell shields.
Yeah.
Or dude, I won this championship with this shield and then buy my.
Dude, the concept is like really similar, right? Like it's just like expanded and decentralized. So League, right, is centralized on servers for the game manufacturer. But think about if that was just like decentralized across everything and more like open and transparent about what you could do, and the stuff you buy in that game could transition to a bunch of other games in the same universe.
Right, you're saying as opposed to only being valid in the League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's almost like you bought that shield, but that's good.
Yeah.
In multiple universes.
Yeah, 100%. But it might have different utility in different ones, right? And one of them, maybe you use it, throw it down on the ground and use it as a sled, right? Like maybe one of them you actually use it as a shield. Maybe one of them you can only trade it for some sort of currency or whatever.
You melt it down and trade it for.
Yeah. It's a little bit of the Wild West, but the possibilities are literally like your imagination. Like if you can think it and dream it, like it's possible right now in the metaverse. Like and that's like. I think that's one of the promises, right? It's like the only limit is imagination, and then like if you can execute on that. But it's like a wild time, man.
Is it similar to having like FedEx tracking on everything too? Like
yeah.
Internally, FedEx tracking is pretty legit. Like they scan a package and they know where it's been.
Yeah, the beauty of it is it's a proof of ownership across time, space, everything, right?
Is the metaverse good for society, or are we just headed towards the Matrix Ready Player One, or is it inevitable so we might as well embrace it? Because I was talking to Andrew Yang, and Andrew Yang was like, well, the real world is getting harder and harder every day, and the digital world's getting better and better every day.
That's true.
It makes a pretty easy choice for humans.
Dude, 1,000%. And it's like, the society we live in, right? Like we hear it all the time, especially over the last couple of years, right? There's systemic bias and racism and these
Or
kind
just
of
like inequalities that are very difficult to address, right? Like
Exactly.
even some countries
Dude,
have
how are
been,
you
been
gonna-
poor for like thousands of years.
And like fixing that, like in the real world, you just essentially have to tear it down and start from the ground up. And there's way too many people making money and power in that. It's not going to happen.
They want to keep up the structures.
But you know what? We have a chance to do that with like Web3 and like in the metaverse and like on the online side of things. And you know, you're already seeing people doing it, man. Like it's wild. Like music industry is like a great example. Like my homie, like Rhetoric, he was talking about like having to chase down a label for like a small sum of money. Like he would never have to do that if it's coded into like a contract in the metaverse. And
It'd almost be like immediate. Like he would just get a cut as a
immediate.
As a
He would like do his like gig or whatever, and as soon as like it wrapped or whatever conditions were met, like the money would automatically be like in his wallet like instantaneously.
Which
right?
is what CD Baby was trying to do back in the day, sort of to the artist.
CD
You know what I mean?
Baby, yeah.
I say that because I have a CD Baby account.
And then like Latasha, who's like a rapper, like she like minted first like female rapper to like mint a music video. Like she didn't have to go through a label for that. There's no one taking a cut of that. It was her. She was making that money.
And somebody bought her the one of one copy of her
yeah,
video,
and
right?
she's been doing multiple, and like the price has been going up, and like she's not like she doesn't have to worry about any like bureaucracy. She doesn't have to worry about any like old dude like trying to take a cut of it. It's life changing for a lot of people, and there's no real barriers to entry if you're willing to like put in the work and do your research.
What are some future applications that people can look forward to for NFTs? Like, for example, the crowd that's well, you know, maybe I'm not too into art and I'm not too into like a cyberpunk future or any sort of animations like that.
Dude, think about not having to go to the DMV for your car registration. If your registration stuff was all tracked digitally, that alone to me is worth it. Ownership of anything like houses, cars, or even small collectible streetwear stuff like authenticating cards, ticketing, getting into like a concert. If instead of paper tickets, right, you just show your like your NFT or whatever it is, and you get in, and then after the concert, they already know what it is, and you like get airdropped like a concert poster or art or like special access, like, you know, backstage stuff or content. There's like, it's literally limitless, right? I'm 100% certain like there's going to be kids who are just like fucking insane smart coming up with like uses and stuff that we have we're not even thinking about, and it's going to like blow our minds in the next like couple of years.
Is the blockchain the Matrix?
Yes.
But could be good.
Yeah, it's like the good Matrix. It's like if we flip the Matrix and gave the power to the people instead of the machines, until the machines take over, because that's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Can NFTs stop AI from taking over? Or?
I mean, we're living in a simulation anyway, so who cares? Birds aren't real. This is just where we live.
Yeah, like can you flex like your metaverse holdings?
Oh, dude, there's so much flex with that too. It's cool though, but it's like the most wholesome flexes you ever see though. It's like nice, like people like show you their watch face, and it's like a Bored Ape that's worth like, you know, tens of thousands of dollars, and they're not doing it like it's a flex. They're not doing it for the monetary flex. It's more of like, look at like the item that I have. It's like they're so proud of that art. It's awesome.
Last thing you want to tell to people who were watching this video and they were waiting for an expert to come on. You are my resident expert.
I appreciate that.
Like they're just like, yeah, okay, Willie, I have a better understanding now.
Yeah.
I am afraid of this future.
Well, I think, right, there's always a little bit of fear when it's like new technology, or you don't really like, or you're not deep in something yet, and you feel like other people are like way deeper, but it's still so early that like, you know, anyone right now who wants to get involved is still going to be early on in it, and like the resources are there to do research and find out about this. The people in the community are super helpful. Like you can reach out to like almost anyone on like the Twitter NFT world, and like you're going to get like multiple people chiming in and being like, yo, like try this.
What's the difference between a crypto person and an NFT person?
Right. The easiest way to understand it is like the cryptocurrency side is more finance. The NFT world is more like art. So there's a lot of overlap in this, and there's always little niches. Like there's definitely people who are like really just Bitcoin people, and people who are just NFT people, and then there's a lot of people who are like decentralized finance as a whole. So at least in my opinion, I'm biased, right? But I think if you look into it and you start going a little bit deeper and scratch the surface, like most people will be really excited about the possibilities of what's out there, and you know what it means for us as humans. So.
All right, you guys.
Yeah.
Willie Morris, entrepreneur, farmer.
Farmer.
Thank you for explaining it to me. I think I got a better idea.
Dude, this is great.
Do you want to shout out one NFT project? Or you don't?
I got nothing. I would just say stay tuned. Follow me at More Willie. We have a really interesting nonprofit. We're gonna build a whole nonprofit world off of this, which is gonna be cool. And, yeah.
All right, you guys. Nonprofit stuff coming up. I know Willie always has the global society on his mind.
That's right.
European Keanu Reeves, look-alike, doppelganger.
We'll take it.
Hey, some Matrix relation.
Matrix. There you go. I'm the one.